Hello everybody, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho. We're working on our 2004 Nissan Altima with a 3.5 liter engine. Now in the first video you saw where I showed you how to pull a coil and a spark plug to check and kind of explain to you why you wanted to do this. Hold on a second, my dog's running around. Ruby, come here. Ruby, come here now, come on. Good dog. That's a good dog, come on. There you go, stay close to me. And so I showed you how to pull the number one coil and check it, and I gave you information on why sometimes you may want to consider just going ahead and tuning up spark plugs and coils on this engine. It can get costly, and in order to do so, you also have to remove the upper intake. So I showed you that. We're also doing a brake job, and I've already got the vehicle jacked up here. And I've got the driver's side taken apart with my caliper hanging out up here. I do not open up the brake bleeders unless I have to. What I do is I use a tool and I push it back. Hey Ruby, come here. Ruby. Don't you love the reality of my show, folks? Come on Ruby, let's go inside. There you go, good dog. Okay, and so again, I use a tool and I push the caliper back. What I do is I take the cap off of the top, place a towel around to catch any fluid that's going to come out of there. And I really do try to avoid opening up my brake bleeders. It really makes bleeding them out 100 times easier. 9 times out of 10, all I have to do when I'm done is pump the brakes up, add some fluid, and we're in good shape. So let's go over here to the right side, and I'll show you how to take one of these apart. So I'm going to put you on my head here. Alright, there we go. Let me see if I can get some light. Hope there's some good light for you here. Alright, so you're going to have two 14mm bolts in order to get your caliper off. And then I'm using a 7/8 socket in order to get my rotor and all that off. So I'll show you how that's going to work. Oh, you know, maybe if you turned it the right direction. All right. Now, sometimes this caliper may be harder to come off than just sliding right off, so it's okay to get a screwdriver and stick it in here and pry it off. And then I'm just going to set that to the side right there where it's nice and safe. Now these are going to be, these big bolts, in order to get the rotors off, they're going to be on there pretty well. And you can either get your air gun inside of there if you want to. There's all different ways to do this. I'm using a breaker bar. There we go. There we go. And yeah, you know, a little bit of elbow grease never hurt nobody. And once you break them, or get them loose, should be able just to take your socket there. Honestly, get it out with your hands. Hope you guys can see well. I'm still learning all these camera angles and whatnot. Okay, and now we can get our brake pads out of here. And you can see that our brake pads are they're really wore out, but they're wore evenly. So that tells me that my caliper is good. And next is to get our rotor off. Now it's not going to want to come right off, so we're going to have to persuade it. So let's go get a hammer and let's make a little beat. Alright. I'm going to try to do this one-handed while running the camera for you. Alright, and there you go. If you notice, I just was patient with it and worked on it, and there you go. So now your rotor's removed. Set all that aside. I'm not going to micro measure the rotors. Honestly, with those brake pads the way they are, and I get it cheap enough, it's time to just go ahead and change everything out. So that way we know that everything is good. And there you have it, folks. That's how you break it down. Now I'll go ahead and make a separate video when my parts come in first thing tomorrow morning on how to put it back together and how to do it properly. And I still have the rear to do, so I think it's going to end up raining. So what I'll end up doing is I'll get the front done and bled out properly, and then I'll back it out and turn it around, get the back end, get the rear end in here, and then do it like that. So there you go, folks. Now the next video after this one that I'm going to post for the day will show you some issues that could be serviced on this vehicle as well. So I appreciate everybody watching. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.